You need to unmute, Miss. There you go.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to PLC service. Today is July 11th, and it's brought to you from Zoom Productions out of Oakhurst, California. No, I'm not in Oakhurst, I'm in North Carolina. And this is the magic of the internet. And it's just like the magic of our community at Positive Living Center. The love, energy, the joy, and I just love our community. I want to welcome all our visitors, guests, and newcomers. If you're a newcomer, thank you for finding us. It means you have lots of love because you're finding the love energy here. So thank you for coming, and we hope you come back again. Today is 11 July. Again, it's still the year of manifesting, and we are doing a wonderful job, aren't we? I love the fact that we're manifesting all of you here today. And the themes for July are conscious thought controls the subconscious. Subconscious beliefs control our life. We manifest what we believe. And so now's the time where we just take a deep breath. We focus on our heart space, put that energy there, and we just go into the silence. We go into the love, into the spark of the divine flame. And have a talk or listen to with God's source. And listen to some music from Jim Savarino as he takes us down into meditation. And don't worry about the music, because today is a day of silence. So staying within the silence and allowing that flame to be there, and allowing that flame to, anything that comes up, just throw into the flame and be easy and let yourself allow yourself to be comfortable with the silence. So we'll go into silent meditation and listen. In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret hiding place, and God is there. Love is there. Peace is there. Know that here's the place, the beginning and the end, where principle lives as you, the truth of who you are, God is. And God radiates through you in this moment, now and eternally. Know that this is who you are, eternally. Allow, accept, and know. So be it, and so we let it be so. And so it is. So we ask now the Reverend Brenda Nagley to please enlighten us with her wonderful spiritual thought.
Thank you, Missy. Hello, everyone. All right, my papers. Okay. Today, I am going to discuss the conscious and subconscious. Many of you are aware that the conscious and subconscious are in a relationship with each other. And the more we understand the passion they both have, the wiser we will become when the two of them are communicating effectively. So to start off, let's ponder the statistic by Dr. Lee Poulos, revealed in 1992. In 1 second of time, the adult conscious mind uses about 2,000 neurons. The same second, the subconscious mind uses 4 billion. I understand this data doesn't fit every person exactly, and I'm sure it's rounded to the mathematical average, yet still, wow. So 2,000 neurons and 4 billion. This statistic fits with many charts and images I have seen when discussing our conscious and subconscious minds. The images show the conscious as this small area near the front of our forehead, and the subconscious taking most of what remains of our brain. When we learn how to have the two work together, it leads to a much higher understanding. So to help understand how this can be done, I will be condensing a parable about an ant named a deer that represents the conscious part of the brain that has our critical and analytical thoughts, and an elephant named Elgo that represents the subconscious that is part of the impulsive instinctual brain and the part of the brain that houses our emotions and memories and even guides the body to perform vital functions. Later in the story, a wise owl teacher named Milo is instrumental in aiding a deer along his path. I'm excited to share a small part of this story with you today. I personally found it to be a great example of how conscious and subconscious affects how we react to situations. And by understanding how to communicate effectively, our goals are met with success. While we tend to know our conscious mind rather well, we often overlook the power of our subconscious mind. By recognizing the power of our subconscious mind, we tap into a wellspring of human potential. Imagine a tiny ant on the back of a massive African elephant. No matter how diligently that ant, our conscious, marches east, if the elephant, the subconscious, travels in the opposite direction, the ant will end up even farther west than its starting point. So here is my blue dragon, that today we are going to imagine it as an elephant, a big African elephant, and I'm holding a little ant in my hand. So we have Ant the deer on the back of the elephant. The ant wants to go east, but the elephant wants to go west. So let's see how far the ant a deer makes it. So the ant is going to head east. So what happened there? They weren't communicating. The ant ended up further away from where he wanted to go. So the idea is to communicate so they can both make their goals happen and work at the same time. So in addition, we will find ourselves receding from our goals like they two did. Here I am. If our conscious and subconscious are not aligned because they're not aware of each other at this point. What aspects of our personalities hold us back from meeting a challenge? How do our emotions get in the way of our ability to act and communicate effectively? What does it mean to commit to a dream? I will now give you a glimpse of how our ant a deer figures it out. I'm gonna move these around. Okay. Late one night, he wants to fly. Late one night, as the deer was sleeping peacefully, his ant friend Charlie woke him. A deer, a bad storm has rolled in. We need to protect the provisions. The two ants ran outside where the entire colony had been helping in the effort. A deer watched his friends and colleagues trying to move the food and supplies from the windswept terrain, and the situation was pure chaos. A deer noticed an area that would be easier, but he couldn't get their attention. He scrambled up a high ridge to project his voice over the howl of the wind, shouting, "Follow me, this will be easier." No matter how loud he yelled or how hard he waved his 4 front legs, no one noticed him. Suddenly, an enormous bolt of lightning illuminated the surroundings. An amazing gust of wind swept him up to the sky. This was the last a deer would see of his colony for some time. He lost his bearings during that torrential rainstorm as he was tumbling and sailing through the air. And finally, the wind deposited a deer on the ground where his weathered body collapsed. Little did a deer know that his life would be changed forever by that storm. It had taken him from his creature comforts of his colony and given him a chance to see his life anew. A deer awoke in utter confusion. To the calm following the previous night's storm, emptiness consumed him. He felt incredibly alone and defeated. A deer had no mission or purpose. He realized without his colony, he wasn't quite certain who he was. The question of purpose echoed in a deer's mind. What is my purpose? He came to the realization that he had underperformed in his previous role when the queen had promoted him to a position that made him responsible for an entire delegation of ants. A deer felt the job was too hard, too impossible to try to inspire the delegation of ants. He couldn't help but feel like a phony. He never really believed in himself. He knew he had a great deal to offer the world, maybe if he tried harder. My dog is sneezing over here. But what did that mean? How should he try harder, and at what exactly? He looked around his bleak surroundings and felt lost. Isn't that just the way? He muttered, stomping one of his little feet. As soon as I realized I could have done better, it's too late. Who am I kidding? I'll never find my colony, and even if I do, I can't change anything, especially the ant I am. A deer's body slumped down, once again defeated, hopeless, and downright disillusioned. These feelings persisted. With time, as each day became just one of survival, longing and regret persisted, nagging him long into the night. There must be more to life than this. Life should be a fulfilling journey, not just a struggle to survive. While a deer was experiencing negative experiences and emotions, so too was Elgo the elephant. Elgo, like other elephants, remembered everything he ever experienced. From the taste of the grass he had eaten as a small calf to the way yesterday's sun had beaten down upon his back. He was a walking storehouse of memories, habits, and instincts. Now, Elgo had two loving parents throughout his formative years who, without knowing it, may have discouraged him. Elgo's father was notorious for his pessimism. He spent his days telling anyone who would listen how hard life is. Life is tough. It's hard. If you don't believe me now, just you wait. You'll see how hard it can be. Elgo's mother had taken very good care of him when he was young, but she was equally cautious. She always reminded him to be safe. Danger lurks at every bend, and you must be careful. Be a good elephant and do what you're told to do. Listen to your father. He knows best. As Elgo matured, he learned about all the limitations that elephants faced: coping, struggling, and accepting. This was every elephant's lot in life, and Elgo never forgot it. He often thought, be a good elephant and do what you are told. That was all there was to it. Follow the path that has been laid out before you and don't bother asking questions. The elephant's life, after all, is very hard. Now, of course, such behavior is not exclusive to elephants. The world is full of creatures that want one thing, but can never seem to break the pattern of negative habits that keep them from realizing their dream. Now that I have introduced a deer and Elgo, maybe you can see similarities you might have experienced in the past or witnessed in others. The absolute wonderful news is with effort, anyone can change their negative thinking to discover the possibilities ahead. I can tell you the story of these two, which is the conscious and subconscious, and this story is one of a positive change. And with the help of the owl teacher, Milo, whose voice I believe sounds a lot like Angelo, a deer had many revelations. A deer's first enlightenment in the story was when, unbeknownst to him, he had spent his entire life on Elgo. It was with Milo's teaching method that a deer became aware, eventually learning how to communicate with Elgo. A deer had ups and downs each time he learned something about himself. A deer realized that his thoughts affected Elgo's and Elgo's affected him. A deer worked on harnessing the power of emotions while creating positive, dominant thoughts He learned about how to expect the unexpected and how to deal with those experiences without losing his focus. He then worked on experiencing and expressing gratitude, plus how to break patterns. You know, the patterns of negativity that are unexpected. When this happened, this is what he said. Thank you, but that is not part of my vision. And then Adir would continue this by visualizing his goal in as much detail as possible. Colors, smells, sights, etc., to achieve that goal. So the story ends with Adir, again, representing our conscious, and Elgo representing our subconscious mind. Working with each other, they both achieve their goals and learn to communicate. This is an inspiring parable that the author Vince Pacente uses as a means to explain a 5-step plan to show us how to redirect the subconscious mind in order to accomplish the goals we consciously strive to achieve. So the parable I've shared with you today was taken from this book. It's called The Ant and the Elephant, Leadership for the Self. So I'm going to be talking about this a little bit more during the announcements. So now, what I'd like to say to you is may your day be filled with inspiration, loving thoughts, and accept all the challenges that come your way, and so it is.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. That was wonderful. The ant and the elephant, it kind of has a such a difference in size, but such a equalizing in power. And it's just so much that that you had to say today. So thank you. And did Jim Severino ever come on back online? Okay, great. And so because he isn't here online, you know, there's a thing in the theater about, well, the show must go on, right? And so Sandy has asked me to do a chant. And so it's a combination of the word, which is in the beginning was the word. And when we say I am word, through your body, your vibration, through all that you are, you're bringing in the action of the divine. It's like saying divine right order is happening in this situation. And that's part of the chant. And then another part of the chant is essentially like the 3 steps of spiritual mind treatment. God is, which is recognition, I am, which is unification, and I know, which is realization. So this is a chant that's been singing me for quite a while. I'd like to share it with you. So just sit back and relax while I try to relax. I am word through my body, I am word, I am word. I am word through my vibration, I am word, I am word. I am word through the knowing of myself as word. I am word, I am word, I am word. I am word through my body, I am word, I am word. I am word through my vibration, I am word, I am word. I am word through the knowing of myself as word. I am word, I am word, I am word. God is, God is. God is the power of Christ as me, God is. God is. God is the power of Christ as me, God is. I am word through my body, I am word, I am word. I am word through my vibration, I am word, I am word. I am word through the knowing of myself as word. I am word, I am word, I am word. I am, God is, I am word through my body, I am word, I am word. I am word through my vibration, I am word, I am word. I am word through the knowing of myself as word. I am word, I am word, I am word. God is, God is the power of Christ as me. God is, I am, I am, I am. God is the power of Christ as me. God is, I am word through my body. I am word, I am word. I am word through my vibration. I am word, I am word. I'm word through the knowing of myself as word. I am word, I am word, I am word. I know, I know, I know, I am, I know, I am. God is, I know I am. God is the power of Christ as me, I am. I know I am word through my body, I am word, I am word. I am word through my vibration, I am word, I am word. I am word through the knowing of myself as word. I am word, I am word, I am word. I know, I know, I know, I am, I am. God is, I know, I am. God is the power of Christ as me. God is, I know. God is. Be still and know God is. So our wonderful speaker for today is the Reverend L.J. Bull. Take it away, L.J.
Thank you, Missy. And thank you, Missy. So appreciative of your impromptu, spontaneous sharing of such a powerful worded and melody. That song, oh, and your voice going everywhere, up, down, everywhere. It was so appreciated. Ah, thank you. Whoa, and I this morning, just getting ready in the, in that meditative state, the bathroom, where you do the same things every day. So there's just things that come through. And I am so grateful for that. And one of them that came through, not knowing if Jim was going to be here or not knowing what our situation was just how we could make music together. Individually, but together, meaning each of us could contribute something. And the one that I felt I would contribute if there was the opportunity was the didgeridoo sound, which is a little different, I recognize, but it's just where I could feel this the didgeridoo sound was the sound that I felt I could do. And I go, and I bet we've got world-class omers in here too. People who do ohm beautifully. Now, if you're an omer, don't hesitate to unmute and ohm for us right now. Oh, good. Whoop, it went back to mute. Did you want to ohm, Melissa?
Oh.
Thank you. That's so good. So, and then I know John's got his flutes handy anytime. So just let us know that we have music in us at any moment, and we can all contribute to this fabulous community with our music. And our sound, the vibrations of those sounds. Okay, let me get on topic now. We have these themes. Conscious thought controls the subconscious. Subconscious beliefs control our life, and we manifest what we believe. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate everything that you said. In fact, I'm editing my talk right now, so I'm not heavily redundant because it was wonderful. It really laid the framework. I do want to add just a couple things. One is the word control was in there on our conscious thought. And I thought, well, what's that meaning of control? And I was thinking for my meaning is the verb of determines the behavior of or supervises the running of. And that was the control. So conscious thought either supervises the running of or determines the behavior of. And then there was also in the subconscious beliefs control our life, determining the behavior of or supervising the running of. I also had a reminder of a class we had quite a while ago where the emphasis on the subconscious activity was that it's so powerful that it takes care of all of the systems of our body, our biological birthday suit, that we have so much potential to walk and run and play and do music and act out and anything that our hearts desire that this body supports, we can do. And the subconscious is, lifting my hands right now without me thinking consciously to lift my hands right now, and so much more, trillions upon trillions of cells working together. So I just am amazed at this being and its design, its form, its function, its activity that it is that we all have without giving a moment of thought to it. And yes, there are times we do give thought to it. We give conscious thought to it, conscious support to it. Joe and I have a bat in our stove. This morning we discovered a bat in our stove. Actually, we didn't discover it. Watch Cap Margot discovered it. She was the one that saw the bat first, and boy, she was tuned into that bat. And Joe was recognizing some things he could do to support the situation so the bat didn't end up flying into the house. And he and I chose to have a conscious moment of spiritual support for the bat. Whether it gets out today, whether it waits until tonight, whatever happens, we know there's intelligence in that bat. And yes, it thought it was coming into a cave it wanted to be in, and not maybe so much. So I covered the front of it, putting more darkness to it, hoping it'll rest. And then tonight when it sees that light beaming in from outside, maybe it'll go toward it. But it was putting a conscious attention to the divine activity, to the infinite potential of that bat, knowing its way and finding its way to a place that's much more suited to it. And if it doesn't, we know that there will be other things we'll be guided to do. And that was part of our prayer too, is that we are all perfectly guided. Back to our topics of conscious in this is Jack Canfield was saying the thing about your unconscious mind is that it's very powerful and can, without our awareness, sometimes direct the course of what we do in our life. He adds both conscious and unconscious thoughts create our current experience of reality in every area of our lives. Because of this, we must learn to choose our thoughts effectively. And Brenda, I think you even used the word effectively. So it's like that vibration, that tone. Not long ago, I may have mentioned to you that I was watching a show where there was a hero, a young hero who happened to be in martial arts, and he had this sensei, and she was teaching him something that he hadn't mastered yet. She says, "You're all feelings and instinct and reactions." She says, what we're going to focus on is disciplining your thoughts so you can choose. I thought that was an interesting thing, an interesting premise. We're used to maybe another thought, but I wanted to share that to show you a contrast. This weekend, I was listening to, or actually I was reading the transcript of the Moyers interview with Joseph Campbell. And I don't know if everyone's familiar with Joseph Campbell, but he really was a scholar of mythology. And in this was episode 1 of The Power of Myth. And keep in mind that the substance, the content was so rich that I personally felt I imagined you would have absolutely loved just listening to Bill Moyer's comments and then Joseph Campbell's comments. And I go, but I can't do that. That would just, that would be too much time. So I went ahead and I focused in on something that they focused on, and it was the myth of Star Wars. And they commented on Obi-Wan Kenobi, the wise one. Shows up in so many myths, the wise one. And the wise one was teaching Luke Skywalker about his nature. And he says, this time, let go of your conscious self and act on instinct. So interesting that what I just told you was don't act on instinct. Learn what you're thinking, discipline your thinking so you can choose. But in this situation, it was the reverse. Obi-Wan was saying, let go of that conscious self and act on instinct. A little further along, Obi-Wan said, use the Force, Luke. Let go, Luke. So these are themes that we're familiar with, right? These themes of letting go, the themes of tuning in to the Force, themes of disciplining our thoughts so we can choose wisely. During the discussion, Joseph Campbell mentioned that every character, and not only in the Star Wars myths, but in all the myths he was sharing, are on their hero's journey of transformation, creating what they were ready for. Creating what they were ready for. He also mentioned our life evokes our character, and you find out more about yourself as you go on. And it's very nice to be able to put yourself in situations that will evoke your higher nature rather than your lower. Bill Moyers said a little later on in the interviews, unlike the classical heroes, we're not going on our journey to save the world, but to save ourselves. Joseph Campbell said, and in doing that, you save the world. I mean, you do. The influence of a vital person vitalizes. There's no doubt about it. The world is a wasteland. People have the notion of saving the world by shifting it around and changing the rules and so forth. No, he says, any world is a living world if it's alive. And the thing is to bring it to life. And the way to bring it to life is to find in your own case where your life is and be alive yourself, it seems to me. So now I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit about an Alice Bailey book, because I found in the reappearance of the Christ some similar words are written. They're written. Sorry, a little bit Elmer Fudd came out. They're written. She says, already today, men and women of goodwill are endeavoring to show that only through goodwill can true PEACE, can true peace be brought about in the arena of international life. In the presentation of true livingness, there is necessarily no room for exclusiveness or for separativeness, because life more abundantly is free and flowing current, sweeping away obstructions and barriers, and establishing an unimpeded circulation of truth and life itself. The essential quality of both being love. She goes on to mention the timeline for transformation is in humanity's free divine will. Transformation will occur. As my girlfriend Diane always says, we're all going to Chicago. Doesn't matter if you take a car, a train, a boat. Well, okay, for the boat would be really difficult, but it doesn't matter what you're taking to get to Chicago. We're all going to Chicago, and that's what faith we have. It's what our attitudes are. It's whatever we're going through, my friends, we're all going back to God. We're all in God, of God, on a journey to God. So here we have it where she says further, humanity, let's see. She mentions the timeline is in humanity's free divine will. Transformation will occur. Humanity is either, as Esther Hicks alludes, going with God or not, moment by moment, meaning that humanity can only slow or allow spontaneous process, but it cannot heed it permanently. We cannot, not heed, I'm sorry, not, there's another word there. It's abate it, cannot stop our progress. We are designed to be the divine, expressing the divine in all the ways the divine shows up. Emma Curtis Hopkins says it this way: the world will persist in exhibiting for you what you persist in affirming the world is. Is the world God's footstool? Is it the divine's footstool? Because if it is, then it's pouring through us. Imagine for just a moment, we're all gone. All of the things that we can create that are beautiful and loving and grace-filled and compassionate and caring aren't happening. Now put us all back in. We are the creative instruments of the divine. We tune in to that. Ernest Holmes wrote, whoever dwells on beauty tends to become beautiful. There will be a grace and charm to expressing itself through that person, which no one can fail to recognize and appreciate. Back to our topics in a more concentrated way, Michael Bernard Beckwith says, when the subconscious and conscious mind agree, the superconscious mind takes over. Superconscious mind. Some call it soul or spirit. Is this what is meant in the scripture? When two or more come together, I am there. Makes me curious. Makes me wonder if that's what it was being mentioned. So here's another one from Reverend Michael Beckwith. The truth is that there's more than enough good to go around. There is more than enough creative ideas. There is more than enough power. There is enough for everyone. If you believe it, if you can see it, if you act from it, it will show up for you. That's the truth. So my roots were being raised for a time on welfare. My roots were for a time hanging out with people who would come into my mama's trailer and pass out, and I would have to walk over them to go to the bathroom, and it would scare the bejeebers out of me. And my mom would say, get over it, just go. She wanted to sleep well before she went to work the next day, I'm pretty sure. But my roots were a lot of people saying that the only people that or the people that had their needs met and that had plenty to give away to others, that those people were somehow criminal or false, deceitful, uncaring. They only cared about money. All of those were things I was taught when I was young. And I have to say, those are some of the ideas that seeped into my subconscious that ultimately would come forth when I would recognize the rub of doing anything that would allow me to be abundant. That I had these beliefs that were given to me and that they would get in the way. They would get in the way because I was believing that I was either deceitful if I did something that was successful or abundant. And I go, but is that true? And I started looking at these gifts that were given to me when I was young, and I started looking at them, and I spent time with them, and I let myself be influenced by ideas in new thought that we are a lot more than we might think we are, and that we can do a lot more than we might think we can do. And that in that living, we can be more of who we already are and more of what we truly want to leave as a footprint on this planet that we love and we're divine, we feel is divine. I can't help but imagine that we all have hidden chambers within us where dreams and heart's desires are still sitting. They might be waiting to be dusted off a little bit. And we might feel a little bit more life force coursing through us when we think about them. And when we start acting upon them. Joseph Campbell called it following your bliss. Much healing happens as we are engaged in the activity of life and service with great love. Follow your bliss. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you so much. The hero's journey, goes out to, it's like the prodigal son, goes out and follows that star and then comes back. And it's just like what you said, we're all going back to God. So, we go out and we travel, we fall on our face, do it with silent grace, get up and get back on the horse, get back, wash the mud off. And we forget sometimes that we're going back home. We're going back, doesn't matter. We're going back to God. So that was a nice reminder. And one of the things to listen to is it's the Force, Luke. It's the Force. and that was one of the first things, when I saw Star Wars, that was, a revelation to hear that in a movie. And they called it instinct, but it was really intuition, wasn't it? The Force. It was that energy. God is. It's the energy of God. And all we have to do is allow and accept. So thank you for I did lots of notes. you gave lots to think about, lots to feel. Thank you. And it's now time for offertory. And I put in the chat box for those that can see it, the offertory prayer and where your donations can be sent. So if you join me in our offertory prayer, divine love flowing through me, blesses
and increases
all that I give,
yeah,
and all that I receive. And practitioner of the day is the Reverend Brenda Nagley. And speaking of Reverend Brenda Nagley, I think she has an announcement to make.
Yes, I do. Thank you, Missy. So for the talk that I discussed today on the ant and the elephant, I wanted to announce that I'm going to do a class in a few months on the subject to go through what a deer and Elgo, and with the help of their teacher Milo, how they communicated and became what LJ talked about, was that super conscious. So there's steps and exercises to work on, and there would be a lot of fun to work with in a group. and to work on creating that superconscious and how they went through that. There was just too much to discuss in the time that we have. So I think a class would be perfect to do that. So I'll be traveling quite a bit here in a while. So I don't know exactly when it will be, but it will be upcoming if anybody else wants to go through the same journey together. So that's it.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements?
Missy, I do have a little something real quick. I
Great.
just want to say that an idea came to me. No, I was outside of the bathroom at this time.
My best ideas are in the bathroom, so.
You know, they do,
Yeah,
they just
I get
show
that.
up. It's that routine that you're in. It could be gardening, but it just, yeah. The idea came up that a link to an email and including the phone number would be very useful for the practitioner of the day. So you could go back to your weekly email, your weekly iFocus, and you could see that Brenda or myself or Joe or whoever happens to be the practitioner of the day, and you could just push that, and then it would get an email to them, or their phone number would be embedded so you could see the phone number when you push that link, and then you could call them if that's the better means for you. So just to give you an idea there that in moving forward, I'm going to be putting the phone number link in that outline of the service. And so Brenda's, I hope it's okay, Brenda. I did put yours in there as well. So I hope that's good.
That's a grand idea. That is a really grand idea. Any other announcements? Okay, I don't see any other announcements. So if you join me in the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The energy of God is me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And next week's speaker, speaking of God in action, is the Reverend Judy DeRosa. And now I'd like to ask the Reverend Sandy to give us a closing treatment.
I just want to thank everybody today. It was inspiring and thought-filled, and I took a lot of notes. So I'm sure that when Brenda does the class, it's going to be one that everybody should go to. So many things, the little things that make all the difference in our evolution and what we're learning. So just join me, please, as we sink into the knowing that God is all there is, that our lessons come to us daily, and we embrace them, opening our heart and accepting the evolutionary path we're on. It is a journey of excitement and learning, of new things, of experiences, of new people, of new ways of seeing the world, of new everything. Every moment of time is new. Every moment of time is now. Every moment of time is perfect. Every moment of time shows us that we are perfect, whole, and complete. And I am so grateful for the gifts of our spiritual community and for the gifts of all of us. Say with me, please, and so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, everybody. God, what a great day. Oh. Everybody go sit in a swimming pool or a tub of water. It's going to be a hot one here today.
Mhm.
Anna, have you moved? Is that the new house? Yes? Oh, so different. The walls are
Yeah.
white instead of the wood.
Yeah, I'm moving officially in 2 weeks, but yeah, I have a view. There's a view of the ocean, sort of. If you
Ooh,
crook
nice.
your neck and push your face against the window, you can see. Yeah, it's gonna be a different life in Long Beach.
Mhm.
It's cool here though.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh,
Hi,
love-
Justina.
Hi, Justy. Oh, it's just so good to see everybody and all the smiley faces. I so look forward to Sundays. Oh, may you all have a blessed week and just enjoy it.
Keep
Love
your
to you all.
fans on, everyone.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And thank you, Missy. That was beautiful chanting.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
See you next week.
See you next